right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
I look out the window and I start to see flames coming around the garage.
Fire breaks out in a Fenton home. The quick actions of neighbors saving the family's pet.
Our temperatures remain above average all week, and I'm tracking only limited rain chances.
Our top story, an attempted robbery ends in a gunfight.
Our property is not worth our lives.
Tonight, the tragic turn of events, leaving a University City mother dead. Tonight, 2 men are in police custody in connection to that shooting. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson. Mike Bush is off tonight. Terrell McCann and Carleon Boyd are charged with second-degree murder and first-degree attempted robbery. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski is live from University City Police headquarters with the latest on this. Laura?
Kelly, University City Police say the 2 suspects were attempting to rob the woman's son when she was shot and killed in her doorway. University City Police say around 8:30 Sunday night, they were called out to an apartment complex in the 6400 block of North Drive for shots fired. Investigators say Ashley Selman's son was outside working on a car when these 2 men, 20-year-old Carleon Boyd and 22-year-old Terrell McCann Jr., put a gun to his head and tried to rob him.
He was able to disarm Carleon Boyd, and at that time he was able to shoot suspect Terrell McCann with the gun that he obtained from Carleon Boyd.
But in the struggle, police say McCann shot back, killing 39-year-old Ashley Selman.
She was in her doorway while her son was going in and out of the house.
Court documents say McCann was paralyzed from the injury and taken to the hospital. They say Boyd actually ran from the scene, but officers were able to take him into custody later that night.
We do have cameras in the area, and we utilized all the technology at our disposal.
Captain Fred Lemon says they believe this was a random act of violence and everyone involved is in custody.
It's a crime of opportunity. Very good area, very good residents. Unfortunately, with this type of crime, someone lost a mother, someone lost a grandmother.
Lemon says anyone who's faced with a situation like this needs to remember material things are not worth risking your life.
The best thing to do is just give them what they want and try to, get as much information, whether or not not their pedigree, but what they look like, as much as possible, and then contact your local law enforcement.
He says the department extends their condolences to the grieving family.
We're dedicated to providing a safe environment for all of our residents and for those who come in through University City.
Police say the suspects are being held on $500,000 cash-only bonds. Reporting live in University City, Laura Barczewski, 5 on Your Side.
New at 10, a warning from safety experts. If you see someone breaking into your car, think twice before you reach for your gun. You could end up in jail. We have seen it happen twice in as many weeks in North County. And that's where Brent Solomon just got back from. He is here with the latest in this most recent incident, Brent.
Well, Kelly, in this case, a 23-year-old man saw a couple of teenagers breaking into his car. He got his gun, opened fire. A bullet struck a 13-year-old in the back. Now the man is behind bars.
It was around 2 in the morning Saturday here at the crossing at North Point Apartments in North County. The news is getting around.
The people that's only really hurting from it are the people who they're taking the cars from, who they're robbing.
Demetrius Heyman saw some kids breaking into his car, so he got his gun and shot at them. Some of his neighbors think it was a bold move.
Nowadays, these kids got guns bigger than you. Like, they got one person breaking in the car and the other one watching out.
We've seen this before. 2 weeks ago, a teenager died, while with several others looking into cars. When Michael Tolden saw them, police say he fired his gun here on Orange Drive. He's now charged with murder.
If there's harm coming to you, that it must be a proportionate harm that you can use to help yourself and to protect yourself. So if somebody is stealing your car in your driveway, shooting them is not self-defense.
Personal safety expert Mike Barberi says if the other person points a gun at you, then you could have a case.
And I'm not saying that it's okay to, hurt teenagers, hurt babies, or none of that, no. But these babies do have to learn that you can't keep doing this stuff because there's consequences.
Barberi's message to would-be offenders:
don't commit the crime because you never know what's going to happen to you. You may come across some guy who's crazy enough to come out of the house with a shotgun and kill everybody.
Barberi tells me it's best to just call police with specific details. What are the offenders wearing, the type of getaway car, and what direction they went in? Tonight, Heyman is charged with first-degree assault and armed criminal action. Both are felonies.
A St. Louis man was sentenced today to 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole. A jury found DeAndre Walton guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder last month for 2 shootings back in February of 2022. Thomas Anderson III was found shot in the yard of a home on Norwick Place in North City. Hours later, Tyler Vaughn was also found dead about 100 feet away on the I-70 exit ramp at Goodfellow. An Illinois man has been sentenced to 5 years probation for a horrific crash that killed a teenager in downtown St. Louis. LaJavion Ramsey pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter in the August 2020 crash. Prosecutors say he was speeding down Washington Avenue when he crashed into a pickup. 4 teens were thrown from the bed of the truck. 17-year-old Sierra Ward of DeSoto died. During today's sentencing, Ramsey told the court he was, quote, truly sorry for what happened. Tonight, a Fenton family is safe after fire heavily damaged their home. More than a dozen crews were called to the house Friday night. And while the family wasn't home, neighbors moved quickly to save the family dog. New tonight, Annie Krall talked to one of the men who jumped into action. Annie.
Kelly, we are told the fire started in the garage and thankfully no one was hurt. The family was not yet ready to talk about it, but I did speak with a father who lives just next door who said in the moment, you don't think, you just do.
It kind of seems like you're in a nightmare a little bit. You know, you come out here, cut the grass, and you're like, oh, man.
A nightmare that neighbor Joseph Graslob said happened around 10 o'clock on Friday night. Seeing flames next door, he quickly started banging on the windows to see if anyone was inside. Thankfully, no one was in the Fenton home.
Next thing was get the dog out. So neighbors came around and we got the dog out.
The dog, Lexi, was saved through a window broken by neighbors who couldn't get in the locked house.
Awesome dog, friendliest dog you'll probably see and meet.
Graslob says it now looks like a war zone. Crews from Fenton, Valley Park, and High Ridge were able to contain the flames to the garage with minimal spread to the rest of the house. Everything inside the garage, a total loss, including a car. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but Chief Ramona Kaminsky with Fenton Fire said it was likely electrical.
But we do know that there were several things plugged in a certain area of the garage, and that's kind of really all we have at this point. I haven't seen the official report yet, but it did start in the fire. It did start in an electrical area of the garage.
Luckily, no one was injured in the fire. As the cleanup process gets underway, neighbors are asking people to be considerate and stay off the street.
Keep this family in your prayers, and we'll get them to the finish line and get them back in this house.
If you'd like to support the family rebuild after that fire, there is a link to a GoFundMe page on our website at KSDK.com.
Tonight, we know it was a brush fire on the ground that caused a major backup on the Blanchet Bridge early this morning. The fire broke out on the banks of the Missouri River on the St. Louis County side. Crews from several departments battled the flames from high above on the bridge deck and by boat. Traffic on westbound 70 reopened about an hour later. Tonight, the man the FBI believes intended to assassinate former President Donald Trump is in custody facing federal gun charges. New body cam footage released today shows the moment Florida sheriff's deputies arrested 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Routh yesterday afternoon. He is accused of hiding out and pointing a semi-automatic rifle through a fence at Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach yesterday. The former president was golfing less than 500 yards away. Today, the acting director of the Secret Service met with Mr. Trump after the second threat to his life in 2 months.
The subject, who did not have line of sight to the former president, fled the scene. He did not fire or get off any shots at our agent.
A motive remains unknown. Routh has a long criminal history and has also been outspoken in his support for Ukraine and criticism of the former president. And 5 on Your Side has learned Ryan Routh may have a connection to St. Louis County, so we investigated. Here's what we learned. A public record search shows that a man with the same name and date of birth is connected to a property in the Baldwin area. When we visited that property Monday afternoon, we showed a picture of Ryan Routh to a neighbor. He confirmed he had seen Routh multiple times in recent years and that He believed Ralph was in a relationship with a woman who lives near him. 5 on your side reached out to that woman today. We have not yet heard back. Mr. Trump is blaming the violence on rhetoric from President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Trump's running mate J.D. Vance echoed those sentiments tonight, while the White House sharply condemned political violence.
2 people now have tried to kill Donald Trump in the last couple of months. I'd say that's pretty strong evidence that the left needs to tone down the rhetoric.
Thank God the president's okay. The service needs more help, and I think the Congress should respond to their needs.
The Trump campaign has officially asked for increased security from the Secret Service. Threats on a town unfounded.
33 threats, 33 hopes.
Tonight, how Springfield, Ohio isn't letting its guard down. Possible dangerous deliveries being left at your doorstep.
Products that could injure or kill people might slip through the cracks.
Tonight, the new rules affecting your Amazon packages.
Summer weather continues with high temperatures well above average. Now, autumn officially arrives on Sunday, but will the temperatures fall? Tonight, a massive natural gas pipeline fire continues to burn in Texas. At times, it shot flames hundreds of feet into the air over suburban Houston, prompting evacuations in the area. Federal authorities say a car crashed through a fence, hitting an above-ground valve. They say there's no evidence of terrorism. There are no reports of serious injuries. Officials say it could take several more hours for the fire to burn off. Tonight, officials in Springfield, Ohio believe all the bomb threats in the town are hoaxes. Dozens of threats were made at government buildings, schools, and businesses after last week's presidential debate. Many believe it was in response to former President Trump's claims about the thousands of Haitian refugees who settled in the town of 60,000 people. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine says the threats were made from overseas.
These threats have all been hoaxes. We think that this is, one more opportunity to mess with the United States. We cannot let the bad guys win.
As a precaution, 36 members of the Ohio State Highway Patrol will patrol all 17 schools in the city and perform daily sweeps. A labor strike of 30,000 Boeing workers in the Pacific Northwest is affecting the labor shortage, or the labor force, here in St. Louis. The aerospace giant sent an email to local workers today announcing a hiring freeze to save money during the strike. Boeing is also considering furloughs for employees, managers, and executives. Company officials say they're eager to get back to the bargaining table. We have a consumer alert for Schnook shoppers in the Metro East. Tonight, the supermarket chain is recalling ground beef sold yesterday at its Belleville store on Carlisle Avenue. The products may contain pieces of plastic. This includes 90-10 ground lean beef, 80-20 ground beef and ground chuck, and 73-27 ground beef. They were sold between 12:45 and 5:45 yesterday. You can return it to the store for a full refund. Amazon has made life convenient with millions of items available to be delivered to your doorstep. Tonight, Consumer Alerts looks into the pressure on the online marketplace to better notify shoppers of potentially defective, dangerous, and recalled products. Here's Mike Bush.
Sunila Brown is a busy mom of 3.
We live in the country, we farm, we can't get to town. I can have something here in a couple of days, maybe a week.
She shops on Amazon, sometimes directly from Amazon, other times things that are fulfilled by Amazon or FBA. A third party, not Amazon, sells these items, but Amazon handles the packing and shipping from one of its fulfillment centers. Why does this matter? Well, recently, the Consumer Product Safety Commission unanimously determined Amazon may ultimately be liable for notifying you about unsafe or defective products and providing cash refunds or replacements that were purchased through the Fulfilled by Amazon program. The decision focused on more than 400,000 units of faulty carbon monoxide detectors, non-compliant children's pajama sets, and dangerous hair dryers sold through Amazon's FBA program, all of which the CPSC said were defective and pose a risk of serious injury or death. Consumer Reports says this new rule is good news.
This is clearly the right decision. Otherwise, products that could injure or kill people might slip through the cracks, and consumers are affected either way. Platforms need to step up, and the sooner Amazon acts, the better people will be protected in their homes.
Amazon didn't dispute that the products were hazardous, but argued that it wasn't required by law to follow the same recall rules as other companies because it was merely an intermediary between its third-party sellers and the buyers. But the government says otherwise.
Amazon will now be responsible for recalling these products and reaching out to people to get more of these products out of homes. This is a major step forward for consumer protection, and it helps hold online marketplaces accountable in the future.
It gives you more security in what you're buying for your family, for yourself, for someone else.
For Consumer Reports, Mike Bush, 5 on your side.
In a statement, Amazon plans to appeal the decision, adding that the products in question have been recalled and refunded. Amazon stands by the safety of every product in its store and that its recall process is effective and efficient. We are 50 days from Election Day, and on Friday afternoon, the candidates for Missouri governor and Missouri's U.S. Senate seat will face off on the debate stage in Springfield. You can watch it on the 5+ streaming app, which is free on your Amazon Fire, Roku, or Apple TV. Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott tonight with the weather impact forecast. But first, you want to talk about something that's happening this time tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night you might see the northern edge of the moon, which is a full supermoon. You see it there tonight, right above me. It looks a little bit closer. Let me just show you this too. The graphic's a little bit better than earlier. Earlier, I probably covered up a little bit too much of the moon, but this is a partial lunar eclipse where it turns more orangey blood red as we get into probably 9:44 p.m. will be the maximum lunar eclipse. You can look right at it because it's the moon. It's a full supermoon, so it looks larger. Its orbit is closer to the Earth than usual, and we're going to see another full supermoon in October, but we won't see a full lunar eclipse until March of next year. And by the way, it's the harvest full moon because it's this time of year we have harvest time. All right, it has cleared tonight. Fantastic, right? But yesterday's high 88, today 88, way above average, and we're drying out again. So the drought monitor here, we have a moderate drought across most of the area in beige, and that's most of the viewing area, which it will deepen even more as we go throughout the week. Here's what's going on with the moisture. We had the Francine's remnants around the area, and we had a pretty good thunder shower yesterday around Chesterfield, and then a couple showers south, but now we're getting drier air again. So the dew point drops into the 50s, so it gets more comfortable. And when you see those dew points below 60, it feels great. But remember that over the weekend, we had 70-degree dew points, and it felt really sticky out there. And we had those big cumulonimbus clouds all over the place. But a couple areas of thunderstorms, but now we're clearing out, and temperatures are in the 60s for lows tonight. 77 right now at Lambert, and 58% on that humidity. And of course, that high today, 88 degrees, and that low near 70. Tonight, a little bit cooler, upper 50s to low and mid 60s. And then for tomorrow, we have an east wind, but it's hot, and temperatures near 90 degrees. And looks like the futurecast is showing sunshine for us tomorrow, which is really nice. But of course, that 7-day forecast showing 90 for Wednesday, 92 Thursday, 93 Friday. And really, those 20% chance for rain in there is really lower than that. I think the better chance of rain will be Sunday when fall officially begins. 87 still on Sunday.
Mother Nature's holding on to that heat.
Yeah, for a while.
Not letting it go.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Frank's here with sports.
Kelly, a really cool moment on the golf course today to help out our veterans. The Cardinals got a magnificent pitching performance, and we're playing hit and run with Kurt Warner. Stick around.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
So there's not a big difference in the number if you are 80 and 82 or 82 and 80, but you don't want to play a long baseball season and end up with a losing record. So can the Cardinals finish above 500? 13 games left, beginning with the Pirates tonight. What a pitching matchup. Paul Skeens, who will be the Rookie of the Year, throwing 99 and striking out Paul Goldschmidt. The Cardinals got to him in the fourth. Nolan Arenado base hit. Alec Burleson scores 1-0. Andre Palante, the Italian stallion, was insane. 9 strikeouts in 7 scoreless innings. Best starter in the second half. In the 8th, the Cardinals break it open. Brendan Donovan with a double to left that scores Goldie. The Cardinals are back to being a .500 team with a 4-0 win. Monday Night Football, the Falcons in Philly with 34 seconds to play. Kirk Cousins connects with Drake London, and the Falcons go on to win a thriller, 22-21. What a game! The Blues opened training camp on Thursday with a lot of young talent, like 21-year-old Zach Volduke, who had a special goal yesterday at the Prospects game against the Wild. Can't wait for hockey. Today at Bogey Hills, a special event benefiting service veterans. The Palazzola's Foundation's Forces on the Fairways raises funds in the 6 figures, and one of the things they can do is fund special golf carts for golfers like Jeff Combs. The Marine veteran played before losing the use of his legs, and now can get the enjoyment of the game all over again.
If I could sum it up into one word, that word would be freedom. It is one of the few times in my life that I am not in my wheelchair. When the doctors come in and tell you you're never going to walk again, you have a vision of what your life is going to look like. So it means the world to me, and those moments are just absolutely incredible.
That is awesome. On Mondays, we often play Hit and Run with sports celebrities. It's rapid fire Q&A, and they don't come any bigger than Hall of Famer Kurt Warner. With the help of editor Tom Stasiak, here we go. The one thing you do that makes Brenda the maddest.
Watch football. She does not like football, so when I tune in all day or I'm breaking down tape all day long, it irritates her to no end.
What quarterback in the league makes you want to watch the most?
Couple guys. Joe Burrow is one that I love to watch every time out. And then last year, one of my favorites was C.J. Stroud.
True or false, in our last game of horse at Rams Park, I beat you badly?
You know, my mind does not recollect that, so I think the answer to that is no.
I did throw away that tape after you won the last game. What really famous person knows who you are and you were like shocked? This guy knows who I am?
When I met, President Bush at the White House when I was speaking out there one day, and he knew exactly who I was when I walked up.
How many times have you watched American Underdog?
I haven't actually watched it all that much. First of all, I know the story. I watched it a lot as we were going through the process. Proud of the movie, love the movie. Of course, if it pops on the TV, I'll watch it. But to me, it was more about making it for other people. Morning, John.
Good morning, Kurt.
You still have your KSDK employee card.
I do not have that.
Brenda did not allow you to buy a certain kind of cereal because it was too expensive?
Vice versa. So my wife was pregnant and she wanted a particular cereal when she was pregnant. And I went, and cereal was so expensive, that it was like $5 a box. And so I would always get the knockoff brand of the cereal, and I'd come back and she's like, are you serious? I'm pregnant with your whatever, 6th, 7th child, and you're bringing me knockoff brand of cereal. Can't you spend $5 for what I want?
Come on, get the real cereal. I totally forgot about the movie.
Yeah, it's quite a movie too.
Yes.
And the interesting thing about the cereals, they solved the problem because they came out with a Kurt Warner cereal eventually. So they didn't have to buy it after that.
Yeah, I didn't know they came out with the Kurt Warner cereal. Wow. And to know that a president knows you too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
He is such a nice guy.
Yeah, he's the best.
Wow. Well, there's something new at the St. Louis Zoo. How this sassy girl is a welcomed addition to the zoo and her species.
Hey everyone, I'm Michelle Lee. If you're like me, you may have the holidays in the back of your mind to keep your budget straight. And Amazon is already out with a holiday toy list starting under $10. So tomorrow morning on Today in St. Louis, I'm going to show you how to save money and the most popular toys with the best bang for your buck.
Hispanic Heritage Month is underway. This morning, St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones was on hand for the raising of the Hispanic
heritage flag outside City Hall. It was designed by local artist Jose Garza. Another flag was raised outside St. Louis County headquarters in Clayton. For more information and celebrations around the area, text the word heritage to 314-425-5355. We'll send you a link. There's a new sassy addition at the St. Louis Zoo. Sassafras, a Somali wild ass, was born last month to mom Heba and dad Rebel. The zoo says her birth is significant because the species is at an extremely high risk of extinction in the wild. Sassafras can be spotted in the Red Rocks area of the St. Louis Zoo.
I've never heard you curse on the air, but...
And I knowingly have not. I was a little hesitant, but that's the species of the animal. Quick check, final check of the weather.
Very clear tonight. That full moon is beautiful. Then 60s for lows and near 90 the next couple of days, but the humidity stays in check.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next. Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis at 4 a.m.